Hey guys, Zanzi here. Today I'm going to be talking about KOVAAK'S Duels, which just released. I was able to get some games in on it, so I can have a pretty good opinion on it, but if you want to get on the action too, which what I'm about to say may change your opinion on that, so make sure you watch the rest of this video. But if you want to try it out, you can sign up. If you can't see the featured content when you launch KOVAAK'S, you can go to the featured content thing on the scenario browser and sign up there. It should be pretty obvious about what you need to do. Then check your email, and KOVAAK'S should have gone to you fairly quickly. It took me a decent while to get the download link, but you should be able to get it faster than me. So while you're waiting, make sure to continue watching, because I actually played it. And before I get into actual specific stuff, I gotta say that the broad premise of KOVAAK'S Duels is actually pretty cool, because if it's executed correctly, it could be really big for KOVAAK'S. It could be an esport. A very small esport, but still an esport. At least it's better than what we had originally. So let me explain what KOVAAK'S Duels is. So essentially, KOVAAK'S Duels is a program that the meta team itself made to pin player versus player in one of two scenarios, one tracking based and one static based. You could put money or quote-unquote coins, as they call it, on the match specifically, and if you win, you gain, I don't know how the money system works, but with coins, you win 90 coins, but if you lose 100 coins. So if you have a 50% win rate, be ready to lose a lot of coins. That's my first criticism. That wasn't even on script. Oh wait, I'm not even on script at all. You know what? I don't give a fuck, and the reason I say that is because his execution is god-awful, alright? That was a bad transition, but I'm gonna roll with it. I played 2 games of KOVAAK'S Duels, one on each scenario, so I feel like I have a pretty good idea of what Duels is like, and it is executed absolutely terribly. Even though it's an alpha, which I'll admit it is an alpha, it is still terrible. So, first things first, you can restart runs. Why can you restart runs? Even though it's locked to 10 minutes, right? It still makes Duels incredibly unbalanced. This is, how Duels should work is that both players play the exact same scenario, countdown runs down, and then they both get the same spawns and or bot movements, of course, depending on the scenario. But instead, they throw you into a sandbox, give you 10 minutes, and fuck off to do whatever. This is the worst execution of a duel in KOVAAK'S I could possibly think of. It's not even none of it, though. There's really so much more. It's only halfway. Hopefully, it's halfway through the script at least. The tracking scenario they chose is passive tracking. And while the scenario itself isn't terrible, it isn't a good scenario if you want an overall scenario to base tracking skill on, right? So what I would have done instead of passive track is get a scenario with a smaller bot that's less reactive. It's not necessarily smooth tracking scenario. It doesn't have to be smooth tracking, but just a less reactive bot, but it's more precise. I feel like that would be a better choice in scenario. I can't think of exactly what to choose. Maybe some form of passive tracking would be good, but it's gotta take a little bit of editing if you really need the passive track. Now, the static scenario is perfectly fine. There's not much I can say. I'm not really good at static. You'd probably have to get someone like a Cartoon, Minigod, maybe Wyrup to have an opinion on that. I can't really say much. It felt fine. The scenario itself wasn't bad. It's not like they chose 1 while 6 targets TE, but what I can say after I played the static scenario, it felt bad. And you wanna know why? It's because there's a delay. Yes, there is literally a delay for your mouse movements. It is KOVAAK'S. It's not supposed to be like that unless if Nvidia tortures you in their Nvidia experiments in their fucking basement, alright? It's not supposed to be delayed, but it feels delayed. And trust me, I know that it's delayed, alright? Even though it may not be by that much, it is noticeable on the static scenario, because the static scenario itself, it's 180 degrees, there's not that many bots, you're going to be flicking your mouse pretty fast, and when you're doing that, when you're bard building, you can absolutely feel that, and compared to normal KOVAAK'S when you launch it on Steam, it feels like garbage. It literally feels like one of the levels you'd see on an Nvidia experiment scenario, alright? And I made sure that my setup was perfectly fine. that even though I have a wireless mouse, I made sure my dongle was really close. I made sure my PC was running perfectly fine, and I played KOVAAK'S itself, the Steam launch, right? The sandbox, it felt perfectly smooth. So I get on duels, I play the tracking scenario, then I play the static scenario, and it feels like shit! I just don't understand how they miss so much. Like, maybe the lag would be perfectly fine if maybe the gameplay itself wasn't garbage. Maybe if they actually made the duel itself well planned and well made, maybe they'd be perfectly fine if it had lag. After all, it's just a beta. There has to be a couple issues, right? But with all of it combined, including this last thing, it is absolutely god-awful. So lastly, right here, alright? After you close the duels program, at least for me, all of my settings reset. My sensitivity, theme, crosshair, literally fucking everything. Every time you load it up, just get ready for all of your settings to just reset. You're gonna have to put everything back in. You're gonna have to put your walls because my custom visuals don't pull up. If you use a default visual, I'm jealous of you for duels, but get ready to put your crosshair, sensitivity, FOV, literally everything you can put into settings. You're gonna have to reset it every time you close the program. And you have to do it in a match while you're trying to get a high score. Do you realize how stupid it is? You can't even change your setting in the menu. How can you not change your setting in the menu? It is fundamental in the KOVAAK'S sandbox. Okay, like, just whatever. Just for a summary, don't waste your time on duels until the meta team fixes it, alright? It's a cool idea, but it's executed absolutely terribly, and much like Casey Foster with iBuyPower, it's looking to drain all your money out of your wallet from no fault of your own. Sorry, Casey, I love you.